Hey there, it's Anonymous Tea, where we spill the tea anonymously. Hello, everyone. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day today. Sending good vibes, sending positivity, sending blessings, and good energy to each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. So, anything I say is alleged and in my very, very personal opinion. This is for entertainment purposes only. None of this is personal. The Copyright Act of 1976 is in the description box. Some meat and potatoes, some housekeeping items. It is free to follow me. Free to follow me on this channel, Anonymous Tea. Free to follow me on my other channel, Anonymous Tea Podcast. There is new content over there. Follow me on the Tickety Talk at Anonymous Tea Podcast. Free to follow me on the Instagram. On the Instagram, he's at Anonymous Reality Tea. Free to share everywhere. Free to like the video so it gets out to the algorithm. Free to share with your family, your friends, and your foes, and coming or going, hit the like button. So today we are talking Real Housewives of Atlanta. We are talking because Angela Oakley did an interview with Carlos King. And it was interesting because I thought that we weren't supposed to reveal certain things. I thought the reality TV thing is like, hey, don't reveal certain storylines, don't reveal certain things until the episode airs. But nonetheless, I guess with his Carlos King, I guess anything can go. So, nonetheless, this interview takes place at Angela Oakley and Charles Oakley's house. And they play basketball, y'all, and Carlos King gives her a reality with a King jersey and all of this. And, you know, Angela, as y'all know, she's always got a fan on deck. Then she throws shade. She throws some shots at Phaedra Parks, saying Phaedra needs to find a man, needs to find a mirror, needs to find a friend, somebody, because Angela said she looks her age. She said, she feels that Phaedra looks 10 years older than herself. Then she shows receipts. She pulls out her passport, y'all. Pulls out the passport, shows Carlos King the passport to confirm her age. And she feels that the reason why she thinks people are saying that she's older than what she is because of her mannerisms and that she never wore makeup. And so she feels that the different wigs maybe that she wears is aging her. You know, that's a possibility. You know, a terrible wig or terrible weave definitely can age you a lot older than what you were. She said that Angela was a fan of Real Housewives of Atlanta, and she stopped watching when Carlos King, quote unquote, left the show, you guys. Make it make sense. And said that she feels more relatable to the OG housewives, the old school housewives, and they felt more real. They felt more authentic, you guys. Then she says as well, Carlos King. Now, see, here's the thing that's funny to me is that when you go on the record and say, oh, we've been trying to get you casted on Real Housewives of Atlanta since season 3 and everything else, but now Carlos King comes out and is like, oh, I got it wrong. I got it. I've been saying it wrong for weeks. I've been saying it wrong for months. Really, it was more like season 6 we had been trying to cast you. No. You got on your high horse and you were like, since season 3 we were trying to get Angela Oakley on Real Housewives of Atlanta. Like, child, I just cannot. But again, because he has a larger platform, he's allowed to get away with that type of stuff. Nobody checks him or holds him accountable if he, says things wrong. So he said as well, or Angela said that her daughter's friend wanted her to get her on the show. And, basically, also, Carlos King was trying really hard, I guess, to even get her in it. And that's the thing, too. Carlos King is is pumping his chest about all these connections and stuff that he still has over at Bravo. But my question is, Carlos King, why don't you have a show yet over back on Bravo since Roja season 9? If you got all these connections and everything's all on the up and up. So Angela Oakley feels that she would have been more active and more alive with the OG girls. She said that, for her now where she's at, she's not going to stoop down to certain levels. She's a wife, she's a mother, and all of this. She feels she would fill in, like I said, because they had terrible wigs. And she said that they would have, treated her a lot better. Angela feels that on this group of girls in this cast, she is getting picked apart a lot more. and whether it's her wig or other things, she just feels she's just getting picked apart. And so Carlos is hyping her up, tells her that she is the reason for the season, and that she reminds Carlos of girls that can read without raising their voice, and that his favorite read that Angela Oakley gave on the show was the read that she gave to Britt Eady, which was the Miles in the Mouth. And he wanted to, extend his gratitude to Angela Oakley for bringing Real Housewives of Atlanta back to its glory days. I wouldn't go that far, Carlos. Like the ratings are still in the toilet. The ratings are still in the toilet. There's some highlights and a lot of lowlights this season, if you ask me. So Angela Oakley is thankful. She said that her love language is words of affirmation, so this means a lot. She said that she knows Nene and is a part of the organization Ladies of Success. So we've talked about this as well. She said she has not met Sheree Whitfield. She has not met Kim Zolciak. So they're kind of going through like the list and everything else. She says that they get along though. She said that she knows that Charles dated Sheree, but she said that she wasn't one of the women that, hung around and wanted Charles afterwards or whatever else. She said that she knew back in 2017 when casting for the show. She is alleging that Sheree and Charles Oakley dated 20 years ago and that they haven't run into each other, and that she says that she's the ATL's best kept secret because she doesn't be going out like that. So wait, which is it? You said you don't go out like that, but also whenever Charles is out, you're out. But he's always out. But anyways, they talk about also her properties that Angela Oakley has, because remember on the show she showed multiple investment properties. So she said that some of them had gotten foreclosed on, and Carlos is like hyping her up, appreciates her transparency and doesn't want her to feel ashamed, and says that she doesn't feel ashamed, and that she got her advice from people that she shouldn't have trusted or whatever else. She calls her fan base the Fangelas. Carlos also talks about Charles Oakley, her husband, not showing her the love that she shows him, and he was talking about how husbands don't get paid, and Carlos King said that's why some wives give them 10%. Here we go again. Here we go. Angela said first and foremost she needs to get paid, so that tells me her first season check it was what it was, but she needs to get paid. She said Charles is one of the few husbands that she knows that wherever he or so he gets paid. So when he shows up on camera, he's only doing it for Angela. So basically that tells me that Charles is not in this for the money. He's in this to really support Angela Oakley. And the thing is, like Charles Oakley is worth millions of dollars, has a whole bunch of businesses. Why would he need a 10% of Angela Oakley's check, especially if this is like her rookie season on a housewife franchise? Like, make it make sense, Carlos. Like it's weird. Like he's always trying to, these men are so desperate for a peach, and it's weird. It's very weird. Like make your own husband show. Make your own husband show if it's that serious. Why do you need to take your wife's paycheck? So then also she says that some of the stuff that she does are for the cameras, and because she knows that her husband, she says she feels if she tried to do this show in 2017, she would have believed he didn't love her, but she feels and knows for sure now in 2025 that he for a fact loves her. She says that there is nothing that he does currently in 2025 that would make her think otherwise. In a lot of other scenes, he's the only man and be thinking, why am I here? But he truly shows up to support her and doesn't get the credit. And that's weird too. Where's Shamia's husband at? Where's Britt Eady's husband? Well, I will say Britt Eady's husband has been there a lot, but I feel like Charles Oakley has been on the most this season. Like, Shamia sold us this dream with her big house and everything with Sterling Hall, and the husband is nowhere to be found, y'all. And I thought that was a contingency for being on this show. Make it make sense. So she says that back then, her husband, Charles Oakley, wouldn't let her do the show because he wanted to do whatever he was doing. So to me, maybe that was when Charles Oakley was still allegedly out here in these streets. Maybe he was being unfaithful. Maybe he was not being a good husband back then, and she didn't want that magnified on reality television at the time because the other housewives would exploit that and everything else, and she would be their storyline. She feels this, Angela feels she's a good wife. She's a good mom that builds up Charles Oakley. And, she is basically giving up for Charles Oakley, feeling that Charles Oakley's the one that's dimming his light for her and giving his love to her in the way that they need it. Charles Oakley never been married before her. I mean, he's best friends with Michael Jordan. There's reasons why. She found out about the cheating because somebody DM'd her. She said this was early on when her and Charles Oakley are together. So she is confirming that there was infidelity. She gave grace at first because she felt that Charles Oakley needed to let everybody know that he wasn't single. She felt that he was taking too long for that. And then the Madison Square Garden incident happened. She said that she had just had a child with Charles Oakley. And then some women didn't care. Listen, look at here. I listened to Karen Hunter. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Sirius XM, and I'm here to tell you, like the women who love them some Charles Oakley, like whether you play for the Knicks or the Bulls or whatever, like these women even today will risk it all for Charles Oakley. I'm trying to tell y'all, like y'all don't understand. People have heard about Charles Oakley allegedly, and what and the real reasons that they're after him, and it's not about his money. So I will leave that there. You can put two and two together. So nonetheless, she says that they separated for 3 or 4 months to clear things up because it was too much. She went to therapy and everything else. And then at that point, Charles Oakley was then trying to fight for the family. She said that Charles Oakley wasn't cheating disrespectfully. Here we go. And she said she was the FBI out here looking for different types of, clues, information, everything else. That Charles Oakley was very covert and that she didn't go through his phones or that she did go through his phones, and that if there was no respect, then she wouldn't have entertained forgiving him. I don't understand this because I feel like if you're cheating on somebody, that there is no respect. Like just because it's not public or you don't have side chicks that are desperate, for the spotlight, that are out airing you out on Instagram or TikTok. Like I feel like cheating is still disrespectful. But nonetheless, it's her marriage, not mine. So she says that, her vows were disrespected and that he didn't see anything wrong with, sleeping around until Angela came along. She says that if your husband is willing to do the work, then stay. But if it is ABUSIVE, disrespectful, then leave. Then the topic turns over to Portia, who, by the way, is Carlos King's friend. Angela said she was mad because of the disrespect that Portia did to her. She said it didn't trigger any past trauma. She didn't have any PTSD or anything like that. But she said that she's not the type of girl that you're going to play with. And, people didn't see that the disrespect was aimed at her. She said, was Portia capable of going after Charles? Angela feels she is. But she said, would she be able to? She said that's an HE double no. And said that is because of the work that her and Charles Oakley have done in therapy. She said, does she like Portia? She says she does like Portia. However, she doesn't like that character trait about her. And she feels as though would she ever invite Portia to her home? And she said for her to invite anybody to her house, they would have to have a relationship, and there would need to be some work done there with Portia. So then she said then there was questions about Britt Eady, like when she started having reservations about her and everything else. And that was after the GUN threat. They had told her that that basically Britt did too much in that moment, and she was unapologetic, and Angela felt as a mom that she felt that Britt lacked accountability. She felt that was a character flaw that she noticed with Britt. She said that she was surprised that Britt didn't come to the reunion because she was online bragging about seeing them there. She said she also talked about her husband, and Angela wanted to confront her. She also wanted to know about how does she feel about what's happening now with everything, and with the lawsuit and everything. And she said basically Britt feels like what she's doing is she's in the right, and she feels that Angela feels that Britt did this lawsuit for attention because it keeps people talking about her in the news. And she said even while filming, it was always about Britt, that Britt has this all about me, all eyes on me type of thing. Then wanted to know if Kelly realized that Britt was a sinking ship and needed to save herself. And Angela said absolutely. She said that that's the thing that she likes about the OGs, is that they stand 10 toes down for their friends, right or wrong, but she peeped her jumping ship. And this is why people can't get behind the foolishness that Kelly and Shamia are trying to play in y'all faces. They are trying to bank on the hate that people have for Portia, or the hate that people have for Britt because of Kenya, that you guys are idiots, that the fans are dumb, that the fans are stupid, el stupido. No. People see through it. People see through, people who are opportunists. So then she was asked if Angela had plotted the breakdown of Portia and Shamia as a get back in their friendship, and Angela said it wasn't intentional. She said she saw that Shamia did not have her back, and she realized that she did not owe Shamia a thing. And she said that a 20-year friendship and a couple minutes of a conversation with Angela Oakley destroys that. She said this on Watch What Happens Live too. Then y'all were already rocky. She said she doesn't think either is jealous of the other. Thank you. I don't think so either. Although I do think Shamia wants the fame and the spotlight that Portia has that comes from this show. And so she says that Portia is more territorial. She was confused about their friendship, but now she sees them at an impasse. So she said she was not a fan of Phaedra. She feels that she was always team Kenya. When she saw that Phaedra was returning, she always had an inkling that that Phaedra would come for her, and that any type of, whatever Phaedra had, that it was not going to be genuine. She talked to a former housewife. She's not going to say who it is. She said that housewife can come forward, and basically feels as though, that former housewife said that Phaedra wouldn't do that, but then confirmed that Phaedra is the one that started the cheating rumor. And she said that Marcus told her, and that she believes him because she feels that he had a lot to lose if he was lying. She talks about things that he had done in the past that he didn't want to come forward, but there's already all of his tea is already out about him allegedly being an sex offender. So I just don't understand. I feel like this whole thing, if it's true that this is all Phaedra and Phaedra's behind this, I feel like this is a repeat of what happened with what Quad did on Married to Medicine to Lisa Nicole's husband, Darren. And there was this man that was like, I know about your husband and da-da-da-da-da-da. It was weird. So I guess some connection, basically Angela confronted this dude and was like, listen, looky here, I'm going to air you out. I'm going to put you on blast because you got some secrets that obviously you don't want known to the public. So you better tell me what the dealio is. So apparently this guy's sister went to high school with Phaedra's brother, and they had an Athens, Georgia connection, and Angela didn't know anybody from Athens. And so she felt at that point that was a breach of trust, and she didn't understand why they would come in, and do this lie. She felt that the reunion, Carlos King asked her about the reunion. She said that the reunion was good and that she had to let everybody know who she was. She says she has not been offered next season. And then here comes Carlos King. Well, I got connections and you'll be back next season. And I was like, here we go. But you're the same person who hyped up the likes of Mia. And Mia is not back at Real Housewives of Potomac. But make it make sense. But said her dream cast is Nene, Cynthia, Kenya, Portia, Drew, Claudia Jordan. If there was a couple more she would add, would be Sheree and Phaedra. And then she said Shamia can be a friend, y'all. Shamia has crashed and burned, you guys. She has crashed and burned. She's lost a lot of favor with the fans, and a lot of people see Shamia for who she is. I don't remember, is this a worse crash out than Marlo, her first season as a housewife? I'm trying to think of, season 1 Real Housewives of Atlanta Housewives that came out guns blazing, and you're rooting for them. You would think that they're going to be the it girl, and they're the no girl. They're the do girl. They're the lapdog girl. No. So anyways, Carlos King also gives condolences because, as you know, Angela Oakley had unfortunately lost her mom. And, I guess there was a question as well, like if issues had resolved between her mom and Charles Oakley, because remember we saw on the show there were some problems. So apparently before she had passed away, Charles Oakley had cooked a meal, and her mom came over, and that's all she could have asked for as well. So that is that, you guys. That is a summary of what took place in the interview with Carlos King. What do you guys think? It's interesting because also Angela said that, just another little tidbit here. In regards to the reunion, she feels that there was moments that she could laugh and get along with Portia and Phaedra and everything else, and adds them to this list of who she would have as a dream cast for Real Housewives of Atlanta. But then at the same token, she's going in to a degree on Phaedra, which she has her right, if this is true, if Phaedra's really behind, these alleged cheating rumors and everything else and all this other stuff, trying to take Angela down, and just some of the comments that she's made. But the Portia dynamic is interesting because I feel like on one hand, Angela wants to like Portia, but then she's throwing shade at her. But I feel like she understands in the Real Housewives realm of things that it's better to be on Portia's side than against her side. So even if Portia's in the wrong, she's going to cuss her out or just tell her what she thinks to her face, and then they're going to move it along. But I feel like somebody like Shamia, I feel like she sees Shamia as more somebody who's moving like a snake, who's moving very shady and all this and that, and I feel like she just doesn't respect it and feels that, Shamia and Kelly are just opportunists and clout chasers, and I feel like she's just not rocking with it. She's just not rocking with it. And this is the same interview, of course, same person, Carlos King, that Drew Sidora exposed Shamia as well, talking about some pinky swear, let me just air out Portia and spill all this tea, and it's just not a good look. All these housewives cannot be lying on Shamia. Make it make sense, y'all. So there's that. That is all for this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.